The house which Noma is situated in used to be traditionally a warehouse to store goods from the North Atlantic. And it hadn't been in use for several years, for decades. And a foundation took over the building and they were keen to give it new life. So therefore they searched out cultural institutions and embassies around the north and so on to be put there, and also a restaurant. And they wanted the restaurant to reflect the history of the building. And that's how the idea and everything started to come together.
To do this Nordic food?
To try, initially the idea was, let's just see if we can work more locally, source more ingredients locally. But we didn't know more than that. I mean, where we are today with the cuisine, with the expression of it, the first 3 years we were nowhere near today. It's been a learning curve that, it still hasn't stopped, but we're clever, and especially compared to the beginning. And ever since that day, it's just been one big exploration of our culture, of our produce diversity, our wilderness, and the people that grow, nature, farmers, and so on. And in our culture, there is traveling. We are a nation of sailors, of traders, and conquerors, as you English people know.
Oh yes.
Yeah. Therefore, there is some spices that's been so integrated into our culture, and it's virtually just impossible, for instance, to have not use cardamom in traditional Danish baking, because it's been used for 700-800 years. So there's a few things that we use. We use cumin, and we use a bit of chocolate for the coffee, and stuff like that. There's small things. It's more interesting for us right now to search out what do we have of smoked and dried fish ourselves, and so on and so on and so on. And you explore more.
Sounds like an exciting challenge.
Yes.
Definitely.
Yeah.
It seems like the whole of Europe has been obsessed with Mediterranean food for maybe 20 years.
Yeah.
With the aubergine and the red pepper and the tomato and the olive
Yeah.
oil. And this is something that you're moving away from, or you're completely separate from this. Would you say that?
Yeah, well, remember that we're not moving away from it because we think it's bad. Because I love olive oil, and I love tomatoes, and I love going to the Mediterranean, and I love the fact that there's also Mediterranean restaurants in Copenhagen, and that there's Chinese restaurants in Copenhagen. But I also believe that there should be a restaurant that is Danish or Scandinavian in Copenhagen, and that we explore our own culture and our own produce diversity. And that is something that is changing a lot right now in our part of the world. Restaurants are depending on human beings. There's no way around it. You can't replace it with machines. It's manual labor. There's quality control. Every dish, every ingredient cooked is different. Different size, shape. They can't be all the same, weigh the same thing. So chefs cook it and they take care of it and make sure that it's up to standard. And therefore everything takes time. You can't reproduce anything by machine, and there's no way around it. We work a lot. We start early in the morning.
Like 7 or
8 o'clock.
And when do you get away in the evening?
Anywhere from 12 to 2.
It's a long day.
It's long days.